All right, everybody, it looks like we are live. Just gonna wait here and adjust the lighting just a little bit. Gonna wait for everyone to join in while everyone is getting the notifications. Hope everyone is having a great evening so far, or day, depending on where you are in the world. Let me go and grab a water bottle and I will be right back. All right. What is going on, everyone? Let me know if everyone can hear me. Just want to make sure that the audio is crisp and clear. Don't want to sound too bad. In the background as well, I will be playing my good friend Ken's beats. You can find his information in the video description. So go ahead and give a shout out to my friend Ken for supplying the beats. Let me know if it's too loud. I can adjust the volume. So, guys, what did everyone think about the event? Wow, I was, for the first time in a very long time, pretty blown away by the presentation. Honestly, everything that was discussed was at least useful and pertained to me. Not only that though, but a lot of stuff actually came back to the MacBook Pro. So I actually have the previous, now this is the fully spec Intel i9, I believe. So I cannot wait to compare it against the M1 Max. That's right. I got the M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro just because I know it's a bit of overkill. Now, I do a lot of video editing, but in the future, I'm going to pursue a stat degree. And I know for sure that we'll be doing a lot 3D models and stuff like that, a ton of coding, and just having that extra horsepower there is just great. Plus, I do photography on the side, so I thought that was just perfect. That way I can have, Final Cut Pro. Eventually, I will be recording, hopefully in 8K ProRes, or I'm not sure exactly what kind of camera I'm going to decide to get. But yeah, we're going to go over the differences between the M1 Max. Also, we're going to look at the M1 Pro, just everything that was released. So, let me go ahead and jump into the chat and say hi to everyone. Like I said, hope everyone is having a great evening. I see Carlos, never first. Yeah, Gabby was here before you. And Vicente is here. So let me make sure. Yeah, Vicente. So this not coming from this microphone. If I need to speak a little louder, I can. Right now, I have the microphone hooked up to the camera setup, but hopefully this is good enough. We do also have James, Greg, and then Ashi watching from Thailand. So what's up, man? From Thailand. What time is it out there, by the way, in Thailand? It must be like early morning, right? But yeah, guys, Vicente Ramos, he is in the chat. He is one of our newest members here over at TheJuan&Only. So he will start helping tremendously going forward with a lot of the edits, a lot of the scripts, a lot of the tags and description and the marketing. So definitely make sure to give him the accolades he deserves. All right, I don't want you guys waiting too long today. Let me lower the volume here on Ken's beats a little bit. This song is a little loud. But all right, so starting off first. So the presentation started really cool. It was basically this little skit where some guy was producing music on Logic Pro based off of Mac sounds, and I thought it was very creative and very original, typical Apple, right? And then afterwards, they dove straight into music. Now, I was a bit confused at first because the first thing that was announced was, what was it called? The voice plan. So Apple Music, now you can subscribe to the voice plan, right? So now there's really now 3 tiers if you're interested in Apple Music. You have, well, before, right in the middle of these new 3 plans, originally it was just the individual plan, and then the family plan, or if you had Apple One, same thing, Apple One is just all of them combined. But we're just strictly speaking about Apple Music. So you have the individual, then you have the family, and now all of a sudden we have this voice plan, and kind of weird. Initially I was like, what? But then again, there are a lot of people who either don't have an iPhone, they might just only have like a Mac, or they might just only have an iPad, or maybe they just have a HomePod Mini, right? So we're going to talk about the HomePod Minis here in just a second. But now what that enables the HomePod Mini to do is now as a standalone product, you can subscribe to the voice plan, and now you can just buy a $99 HomePod Mini, right? And now you can play music to your heart's content. I mean, Apple Music's library is tremendously large. There's so many songs out there, and that's going to start at $4.99, I believe. I think that plan is going to have a very, very specific audience that's going to take advantage of that. I really don't think someone like me would take advantage of that. I mean, if you're a student, you already get a pretty nice discount on Apple Music. The individual plan isn't that badly priced, and then even better if you have a family plan. So I'm not too sure how well this will sell, but hey, that option is there for anyone who wants it. Here, let me catch up here on the chat. By the way, guys, if you guys have any questions, we will dive into a small Q&A after we kind of just go over the timeline of the presentation and just go everything that was released, right? So, do you think the MacBook Pro M1 is worth it? MacBook Pro M1, the original M1, as in the 13-inch and the Air, or are you talking about the new chipsets? All of that we'll go over a bit in detail. Let's see, a little later. So Carlos said M1 giveaway. I don't know, man. Maybe whenever the channel reaches 100,000 subscribers, which that's me and Vicente's milestone right now. That's our goal, and hopefully we do accomplish it very, very soon. But who knows? Yeah, at that point, once we reach 100K, Vicente, I think a MacBook giveaway would be in order, right? A good little MacBook Air. Mike, Mike's here. Yo, why didn't you tell me you were streaming? My bad, dude. I'm telling you, I've had such a busy day. Mike is the sole reason that my wallet just despises him. It's the sole reason my wallet hates me. He hits me up all the time with new bands, and I'm just inclined to buy them. So, Mike, hey, how's it going? HomePod, yeah, the HomePod mini colors. That's what I was going to next. So, I believe the next topic in the presentation was the HomePod mini. Now, again, I do have the HomePod mini playing some of Ken's beats. Let me raise the volume on this one just a little bit. So this little guy, I also have the big HomePod, which was discontinued already, sadly. Despite it actually having decent sound, I have two HomePods, the original ones, in white and black, but they were severely overpriced, I think. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when they came out, they debuted at like $349 per speaker. Ouch. I mean, that's a lot of money, and sure, it sounds great, but that was definitely the Apple tax. I don't know, I guess Apple was trying really hard to get into the whole smart speaker space, and it didn't really work out that well. Sorry, guys, I'm choking a little bit. Talking at 90 miles an hour isn't easy, so let me just drink a little water. But this guy here, for $99, I mean, this makes an excellent gift, and like I said, now even with the Apple Voice plan, let's assume you give this as a gift to, I don't know, an Android fan, you know what I mean, or someone who has a Google phone. I mean, still, it makes a fantastic gift, and I mean, you can realistically get a whole year's worth of Apple Music for $50. I mean, it is $5, $5 a month, so $60 really. So $60 a year, and you can use this guy just pretty much anywhere. And I mean, it does get pretty loud. I'm not gonna put it too loud, but here, just take a listen. It'll be a good time to play some of Ken's beats, by the way. So that way you guys can get an idea of how loud this is. 1 second, I believe it's, there it goes. So that's about half volume right now. If we keep raising it though, let's go to max volume, see what happens. There we go. So that's max volume. And I don't know how well the bass sounded there, but I mean, in person, it's nothing major. It's just enough. It's not enough to go over like a whole party though, especially not even two. Once you pair two together, that's not even loud enough for a party. So this is just great for like an in your room kind of thing, maybe something in the living room to just play music in the background. But still, for $99 now included in 3 new colors for a total of 5. I forgot the new colors, so let me actually go in. It's like a yellow one, an orangish one. Here they are. So of course you have the original black and the white one. I don't have the white one in front of me right now, but it's also going to be featured now in this really nice blue. It reminds me of the Abyss blue, the new bands. And actually, I think I have it nearby. Yeah, I do. So it reminds me of this new band, the Abyss blue. This one looks really, really, really nice. And so having a HomePod speaker that is this color, I mean, not too bad. So anyway, guys, so yeah, I have the images here. So that would be the blue one. Then we also have yellow. I don't know about the yellow. I do have a yellow iMac though. It's in my living room. So maybe that might be a good, actually that might be the perfect accessory to combine it with that. What am I talking about? And then finally, we have orange. Another weird kind of off color. I'm not sure if a lot of people are going to buy that one. Most likely what I'll do is order all 3 and review all the colors. And then I might keep, I don't know, maybe 4 of them realistically. And I might give one to my mom or something. But yeah, guys, that's the HomePod Mini. No updates or anything. It's just updated colors is all, nothing else. So guys, I'm not sure. What do you guys think though? I definitely do see the HomePod Mini going places as they're really trying to prioritize Apple Music now. After all, it is one of their services, and the margins on that are really high. So, yeah, Ashi, so yeah, you said make a new video on the HomePod Mini. I absolutely will. And by the way, this thing's really versatile, guys. You can give it commands. So, like in the presentation, they gave a little skit of a family, and like, yeah, you could have 2 or 3 of these realistically. Let's say you have 2 in your house. One is upstairs, one is downstairs. And let's say your mom finished dinner, then you can kind of use it as an intercom, right? So you can tell the HomePod Mini to tell everyone else in the household that dinner is ready, and then it'll act as basically a megaphone or an intercom upstairs, basically letting everyone know, hey, dinner's ready, get your ass downstairs, time to eat. So that's the HomePod Mini. I'm definitely very happy with my HomePod Mini. I think they make a fantastic gift. So for sure gonna make videos, and it even has a humidity sensor in there. So it can even tell how like, damp or whatever your room is. So really cool about that. Someone is asking about the microphone. So I just wanna make sure that the microphone sounds good. Yeah, I'm not using this one right now. It was a bit of a hassle trying to get that hooked up since I have it hooked up to my Mac Pro. So if you guys need to, you know, have me speak louder, I will, or maybe just lower the volume on the HomePod, so I'm sorry. Then, after that, hopefully I have them nearby. I do not. Oh, yeah. So I do. All right, these guys. Some of the most popular Bluetooth headphones, if not the most popular Bluetooth headphones, are now getting a redesign. So, the cool thing about these is the HomePod Minis, just like the regular speakers, right? I mean, not the speakers, they're wired headphones from back in the day. HomePods eliminate that wire, and you won't believe how if you don't own AirPods, basically at this point, you need to. They will change your life. They literally create like so many great scenarios where it's great, and it's so nice to be able to be hands-free and doing everything without this pesky cord. Before we do proceed, I do see that Carlos Delgado, my good friend since 6th grade, we did the math the other day, and I have known and been in good contact with my friend Carlos, big supporter of the channel, now for 15 years of friendship. So guys, give it up to my friend Carlos. And Carlos, thank you so much for the $25. Every super chat that does come in, by the way, guys, directly helps in helping the channel. As you guys know, this stuff is not cheap by any means. So, for every super chat, just know it goes straight back into the channel. It helps buy new tech products. And you guys are more than welcome to always let me know in the video description if you'd like to see any specific type of video. Me and Vicente do have a very, very long list of videos that we have planned for you guys. We're trying to upload basically every other day at the minimum. Right now with all of these products coming out. Google also, by the way, for any people that are Google fans, Google has reached out to me. Now, I am a part of Team Pixel, and I'm very thankful for Google. They're sending me, I believe, the new Pixel 6 Pro, and maybe regular Pixel 6. So shout out to Google. They also have amazing products. So not only related to Apple, but if you guys ever want to see us branch out, maybe you saw something really cool on Amazon that might be worth looking into, or maybe a third-party product that you just really dig and is really good. So just let me know. Me and Vicente are always more than happy to help you guys. And would you look at that, Ultron Mark 6 with another 99 cents. Thank you so much, Ultron Mark 6. Give it up to him. Donated $1 to the Juan&Only channel. So again, that directly helps the channel, and I appreciate it so very much. Hopefully, don't know what everyone's religious preferences are, but hopefully God multiplies that back for you. Thank you so much. So anyway, yeah, we're back talking about the AirPods. So new AirPods 3, I do want to say that they went up in price. Before it was kind of confusing. The AirPods 2 came in both a non-rechargeable and then a wirelessly chargeable case, which is the one that I believe. So now it's just going to come in one model, and it's they're all going to be able to be wirelessly charged from the back. And I do want to say they're $179 now. So Apple definitely knows, you know, how to capitalize on one of their most popular products. They are $179. There's only one model. This is it, guys. So if you guys haven't seen the new redesign, they are redesigned, right? So now they look very similar to the AirPods Pro. For you guys, for those of you that have AirPods Pro, I don't know where they are, and they're most likely misplaced. So I don't have enough time to look for them. But yeah, they look very similar to the AirPods Pro, just without the tips. And it was interesting that on the presentation, Apple mentioned, you know, oh, everyone has different sizes, you know, ear sizes or whatever. And so now they're basically saying that the AirPods 3 kind of ignores that, because what the AirPods 3 does with all this dynamic EQ and whatnot, and the chip found inside the AirPods with spatial audio and all these cool features, that you will be able to listen to the music as the artist intended. So we will see about that. I do have AirPods 2nd gen. I have the AirPods Pro. My AirPods Max got stolen along with my M1 MacBook 13-inch. I was very upset about that. That's a story for another day. If it does ever get retrieved, I will probably make a video about it, but the best we got is that we have the last found location for it, so fingers crossed. The police report has been filed. It sucks that, yeah, my M1, someone broke into my car, and it was tragic. It was tragic. And right around the time that new MacBooks were going to get released anyway. So anyway, AirPods 3rd generation, $179. I'm planning multiple videos on that. Obviously, the unboxing and first impressions. We're then going to compare it to the AirPods 2nd generation. Then maybe in a future video, compare them to the AirPods Pro directly. But the thing about those, logistically, they're really hard, because, I mean, it's really hard to review headphones just because I can listen to them, right? Like, I have them tangibly with me, but you don't, so you never get the same effect. I wish I could just transmit what I'm listening straight to you. So it's hard reviewing headphones, but we'll have that. And then lastly, we will have, before Christmas arrives, we will have a buying guide for all the AirPod, you know, the entire AirPod line. And before we proceed, we do have yet another super chat. This one is from Daniel Reyes. He said, your boy AirPods 3. So, Daniel, I'm assuming you are excited for the AirPods 3. And by the way, they are already ordered. Literally right after the presentation, I went to my girlfriend's job. She gave me some food. She's a waitress, and I was just ordering everything. So I did order the AirPods 3rd generation. They are available to order right now, and I believe they're going to become available starting next week. Very exciting stuff. So that was most of the audio stuff. Then they went into the chipsets, right? So if we want to talk about specifications, and if we're talking specifically about performance, the thing is that most of your average consumers will blatantly go out, and it ceases. I have seen it too many times. I have seen too many times where people go out and buy the MacBook Pro 16-inch, max it out, and they use it for Microsoft Word. It's like, dude, you're good with a MacBook Air, no need for that, right? So, I don't know, people do like to flex though. Obviously, I am a YouTuber, so I get plenty of use out of the MacBook Pro. Sometimes it might be a bit overkill, but I do also use it for multiple resources. For example, I'm planning on getting a second graphics card for my Mac Pro, as I am mining Dogecoin, and it's going to serve as a low-key a heater in my room for the upcoming winter, so I won't have to turn on my heat as much. There I go again, choking on my dry mouth from speaking so much. But yeah, it's just great. It's just great. So the fact that all this performance is here, and now ditching Intel for their own proprietary chip on the M1 Pro and the M1 Max, man, I was blown away by the presentation. So a lot of you guys will most likely be wondering, well, like a lot of y'all might be ordering this stuff for Christmas, the holiday season. There's also Black Friday. A lot of you, I know for a fact, are going to have questions on how much memory you should get, which chipset you should get, and you know, and all of the following. So me and Vicente were very, very, very excited earlier on today, because we were talking about all the content that we were going to get pushed out to you guys, right? So a bunch of comments were flooding in right after the event. No worries. We're going to have a full battery drain test of the M1 Air, the M1 13-inch Pro, which is still being sold. That's the one that got stolen from me, so I don't want to be reminded. Then we're also going to do the battery drain test with the M1 Pro 14-inch, right? And then lastly, the M1 Max 16-inch. That way we get all of the chipsets together in one video and compare the battery. So not only that, but we're also going to have head-to-head comparisons. For example, for testing purposes, I ordered 2 of each. So I'm going to have the base 16-inch new MacBook Pro, and then I ordered a fully spec'd M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch, all but the storage. So I'm going to, have a head-to-head with the base storage versus the M1 Max. Same thing on the 14-inch. I'm going to have a base storage and then a mid-tier MacBook Pro, because I know not a lot of people always fully spec out their computers, right? Sometimes they'll just spec out the RAM, sometimes just the chipset, and then what we can also, as you guys request them, and again, feel free to every video that we produce, that me and Vicente produce, is drop a comment letting us know what kind of comparison you want to see. I know another popular video is going to be the M1 13-inch MacBook Pro versus the base M1, the M1 Pro 14-inch. So we're just going to have a ton of content, unboxings. It's just going to be great. But for the time being, because we don't really know benchmarks or have performed any testing, just know that the M1 Max, most likely for most people, is going to be complete overkill, and you shouldn't even be looking at it. The M1 Max is really, and I'm going to be honest, it's most likely going to be way more than overkill for me. However, I just like to future-proof myself, because I know that M1 Max is going to, it's going to be good for me for years to come. So yeah, the M1 Max most likely, unless you're a photographer, unless you do videography, unless you do some kind of 3D rendering, most likely just ignore it. The M1 Pro is going to be just enough. So the M1 Pro is really going to start to differentiate it from the M1, and that's already that the M1 13-inch is extremely fast. I wish I still had it with me, but yeah. Actually, one of my friends here who super chatted, Carlos, he does have the M1 Air. I remember he was very excited when he got his. So, I mean, Carlos, I'm pretty sure you love your M1 MacBook Air. It's very snappy. And so just imagine that only better with the M1 Pro, all new design. And speaking of that, now that we spoke about the chipsets, let's talk about the actual new products. But before we do, Vicente, one of our team members here, super chatted us $5 saying, let's go, good job with the live stream. I do appreciate that, Vicente. $5 does go a long way. I promise you, that's 10% of a new band. So I do appreciate that. Shout out to Vicente, our new team member. Sorry guys, it's a little hard to talk for so long, but we're trying. But yeah, lastly, the cool thing about the new product line of MacBook Pros is that they finally ditched the gimmicky touch bar. Now, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's very cool, especially when you're on iMessage and you need an emoji and it looks really cool. Like all the emojis are just populated here on this small OLED strip. And it's really cool just to flick through them. But really when you think about it, I mean, it's just a gimmick, at least for me. It's just a gimmick, and I thought it was unnecessary. So touch bar out the window, and it's being replaced with physical keys. Sorry, always a good thing. Next, so as you guys might know, the ports on the Pro machines are far and few between. There's not really much going on here. So on the 16-inch Pro, you have 4 USB-C ports, I believe. Thunderbolt 3, I want to say. The new MacBook Pro, surprisingly, everyone was so surprised. They brought back plenty of ports, now including an HDMI port, an SD card slot, I want to say, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and now I believe we have 3 Thunderbolt 4 points. So ports. Wow, it's getting hard to speak over here. Getting a little late. So I'm really excited about that. Not only that, something about the keys. I missed it during the presentation, but the keys are like double. Something about the process behind the manufacturing just makes them reflect the glowing keys a lot better. It looks really slick. So gonna do more research on that. And then of course, the difference is now the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. So the M1 Max can be found on the 14-inch as well as the 16-inch, and both can be configured up to the M1 Max chip. So apart from a redesign, the speaker system and the microphone system is really, really good on the new devices. They're much more improved. It now has a notch, ironically, so the notch is going to be, you know, that thing that's on the top center of your iPhone where the earpiece is, that's the notch. So the fact that the MacBook Pros are now going to have a notch is going to be a little funny. I don't know. I don't know. I wish one day they can just kind of go and cover the whole notch and maybe just leave a little perforation for the camera, which as well, the camera system is improved. So I'm just really, really excited to see the performance improve on the M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro. I've been telling all of my friends all day how excited I am about it. So guys, that was the entire event. We'll go into a quick Q&A. So for any of you guys that are still here, I know it's a little late, but for those guys that are still here, if you have some questions, go ahead and start typing them as I go over a recap of the event. So the first major part, it was broken down in 2 segments. The first part was about music, and then the second part was about the new MacBooks and, I mean, the new chipsets. They kind of go hand in hand. So we do have a new voice plan for $4.99. I might make a video on that if you guys are interested, but like I told you, I don't know. I feel like not a lot of people are really going to get that realistically. I could be wrong. Apple could all of a sudden sell a ton of HomePod minis, and a ton of people might subscribe to their voice plan. That way they can just rock Apple Music with just a HomePod mini and not necessarily having to have any other device in the Apple ecosystem like an iPhone or something. So the voice plan, $4.99, you have access to Apple's expansive library of music and videos and podcasts, as well as playlists for $4.99 a month. Pretty cool, I guess. Then going on to the HomePod itself, it's still unchanged. So it's not like it got a chipset upgrade or anything like that. The only upgrade we see is that now it's available in 5 colors. So it's black, it's white, it's blue, yellow, orange, starting at $99. It makes sense that they would go over both of them because they kind of go hand in hand. If you buy one of these and don't necessarily want to purchase an iPhone or something, you can just purchase a $5 plan a month and you can listen to Apple Music. Pretty cool. Third item was the AirPods 3 redesign. So AirPods 3 now starting at $179. They apparently have a new, I forget the actual term for it, but it's like a bass woofer in there, and in the presentation you can kind of see it just reverberate like that, and it was pretty cool to see. So that must mean that you can expect better bass, just in general better audio quality on the AirPods 3. So I'm definitely going to do tons of comparisons. Of course, the unboxing is going to be featured on the channel as well. And then moving on, they went over the new M1 Pro, which I was already blown away. I was just watching and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And when the guy, I forget his name, but when he said that they have not only 1, but 2 chipsets to debut, I was like, what the crap is going on? So M1 Pro, M1 Max, we're definitely going to have different models in the studio. That way we can compare them head to head. Because again, I know a lot of you guys are going to be wondering, well, should I go ahead and get the M1 Max? And no shame if you do. I mean, to each their own. If you got it like that, and if you want to overspend, go ahead. But if you feel like your use case is justified, then absolutely. I mean, I sure did. I'm definitely excited about my M1 Max. So at least for me, I feel like it'll fill my uses. So if you feel like it will for you, go for it. But we're gonna have M1 Pro, M1 Max coverage, and then of course the unboxing on the 14-inch MacBook Pro, the new one with the M1 Pro. Then we also have 2 models that we have ordered for the studio. That way we can compare them head to head. Same thing with the 16-inch. We have a fully spec, the Mac Daddy of them all, the 16-inch M1 Max, all but the storage. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and pick up a baseline model of the 16-inch and compare those head to head so that you guys can get a better idea. And I might even do, the base 14-inch versus the base 16-inch that way as well. Just let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you guys want to see. So before we end it, I'm going to spend maybe 10-15 minutes on the quick Q&A. Drop your questions. I'll try to answer as many as I can. I know it's a little late, so I do appreciate everyone who did drop into the live stream, whether it was for 5 seconds or for the entirety of the stream. All right. So let's see. So we have Eduardo saying go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Ultron Mark 6 says, is the MacBook 13-inch Touch Bar M1 worth it, or should I just save up a few more months for the new model? So Ultra Mark 6, that's a hard question. If you want a more detailed response, I'm not sure if you have me on any of my socials, shoot me a DM and I can tell you, in detail the advantages of both. It depends on what you do and what your budget is like. I mean, if upgrading to the newer 14-inch M1 Pro, if you have an extra $500 and it's not going to break the bank, might be worth considering. You'll future-proof yourself a lot. But the thing is, dude, the M1, just the base M1 and the 13 is already leagues ahead of the competition. I mean, when it debuted, literally the whole PC world, the whole computer realm was shocked at just how great this M1 chip is. It's the same chip found on the new iPad Pros, so those are supercharged with the M1 as well. But like I said, if you have me on social media, go ahead and add me and I can give you a detailed response. Got it? All right, let's go to the next question. Carlos Delgado says, are you going to get the voice plan? So Carlos, no, just because I already have the Apple One subscription, which encompasses the best, like all of Apple's services. Apple One is all of them, and it's the best tier, right? So it includes Apple Music, the best tier, so I can share with like 8 people or something like that. Comes with Apple Fitness, News Plus, what else does it come with? The iCloud storage, all of that. So because I already have the best tier subscription available, it's kind of redundant to also pay $5 for the voice plan, because I can already control Siri with my voice, if that makes any sense. So no, I will not, but I can still make a video to describe what it is and stuff. So good question. Mike POP says, thoughts on Apple avoiding colors for Pro lines? Professionals like colors too. We were talking about this earlier, actually. So I get it. I hear you loud and clear. So the Mini that I just reviewed, by the way, guys, if you guys haven't seen that video, I know I took a little longer than I was expecting on the iPhone content, but I wanted some time to kind of just have time with it, because at least on the regular 13 line, I feel like the upgrade isn't that great. On the Pro, initially I was about it, but now that I have it, now I can't even go back to my iPhone 12, because the 13 Pro line has ProMotion, which is that really juicy and fluid kind of movement, that Apple's devices have, and it's 120 refresh rate for those tech nerds. That's what it is. So it's the refresh rate. Basically, it's how many times per second your screen is able to refresh your pixels, right? So obviously, the more that it refreshes, the better and more kind of smooth it appears. Obviously, if it has a 5 refresh rate, then that's going to look really choppy. So I don't know though, because imagine if we had, this kind of lavender color or something on a MacBook Pro, that would be really dope. I mean, especially if they were like built for customized orders, that would be great. I would definitely pay a premium for that. But Apple routinely is prejudiced against pros, and they, I guess, believe that all we like is just silver and space gray, Mike. So unfortunately, I'm in the same camp as you, so sorry. So Tanya Perez says, I want to get my first MacBook recommendations. So again, Tanya, what I recommend is, as soon as this into the studio and we produce content on this, definitely look out for our videos, because I'm as real as it gets. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all if something is worth it or not. I like to take different stances into consideration. For example, the cases, Apple's cases, they're $50. Now, $50 to one person might not be a lot. Sure, they'll spend $50 on a case any day, but to other people, $50, I mean, that's a ton of money to just spend on a case. You know what I mean? Especially when you can find a knockoff on eBay. It might last you 6 months, but hey, that one's $5. You know what I mean? So I definitely like to give, good standpoints on different perspectives. So be on the lookout. But most likely, I feel like the M1 Air and the M1 13-inch MacBook Pro is realistically going to fill the need for most people. Now, if you have other stuff that you're doing, then definitely look out for our videos. Vicente says, oh yeah, something about the environment, yeah. And.tes says 14 or 16 inch. I never really moved my laptop from my desk at home. So, an.tes. Since you don't move your computer, go ahead and save money for the 16 inch. I mean, you're essentially using a laptop as a desktop. Plenty of people do that. Very normal thing to do. As a matter of fact, right now, whenever I have my recording set up, I know you guys can't really see it that much, but it's hard to put my Pro Display XDR here, especially with my cat Bean. Occasionally she fucks shit up. Occasionally, I'm sorry about the cuss word, I'm not sure. Anyway, so she occasionally really does mess with my stuff, but overall she's a great cat. So yeah, I'm using my MacBook Pro as my primary editing machine. So because of your specific use case, I would say go for the 16 inch. I'm gonna answer a few more questions here and then gonna wrap it up. So Eduardo says AirPods Pro or the new ones, fam. So Eduardo Jordan, which is Ed, by the way, one of my good poker buddies. So it's hard. And I mean, since you're close to me, that's the advantage. I can bring both to you and you can hear both of them. I suspect that the audio was going to be slightly better on the Pros just because of the transparency mode and the noise cancellation, which I do not believe are present on the AirPods 3. At least I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think those have any of those cool features. It does have adaptive EQ that automatically tunes music to your ear, and I believe spatial audio, but it does not have the cool features like noise cancellation and transparency mode, which Ed, by the way, transparency mode, whenever you have AirPods Pro or AirPods Max in, with transparency mode, it basically turns your microphones found inside your AirPods into like a megaphone straight into your ears. So you're able to talk to people a lot better without having to take them off. And as a matter of fact, the AirPods Pro and the AirPods Max recently got an update, a software update called Conversation Boost. Where, if you're talking to someone face to face and if you got your AirPods Pro in, then their voice is even amplified even more so that you can hear them better. So that's what's ultimately going to set them apart, is those cool features. But for most people, if you're just worried about audio, the AirPods 3 are probably going to be just right up your alley. But if you're really interested in those features, and by the way, the AirPods Pro have those soft white rubbery tips with different sizes. So the AirPods, even though they said that like music will sound how it's supposed to be intended or whatever, realistically this is a one size fits all on the or one size fits most situation with the AirPods 3rd generation, because they're only coming in one size. And the advantage the AirPods Pro has is that they have those rubbery white tips, which again is supposed to help to accommodate different ear sizes. So lengthy response, but you're my homie Ed, and I wanted to give you the full scoop. Possibility, Ashilan says, possibility of 13.3 M1 Pro iPad Pro Max. Ashi, if you don't mind, can you clarify a little bit your question? I'm not sure exactly. So Gabby says the Bean, yeah, I miss Bean. She's not with me right now. She's with my girlfriend. 11 Kevin says, how does the new iPad mini feel in the hands? Dude, this is it right here. It feels spectacular. I'm telling you, this is one of the coolest devices I have owned in a while, just because, I mean, I don't have massive hands, but I feel like I have longer fingers than most, but this is easily palmable even with people with smaller hands. I mean, look at that, right? Like, so that's my wingspan, if you will, of my hand, and I can grasp it easily with a ton of room here to spare. So it's easily palmable. I feel like in the future, a lot of stores and a lot of schools are going to start offering this, and especially with the Apple Pencil, man, you can just drag your Apple Pencil from the bottom right corner and you can start writing notes, and it's literally like having a small notepad on you at all times. It's one of the coolest devices for sure, and even better that the camera did get improved. So like, I mean, taking a camera with this doesn't look all too bad. but when you take a picture with the oven pan, which is kind of sort of around this size, it's like you're taking pictures like this. You know what I mean? So it looks goofy. I've always said. I one time got hate in a comment because someone was like, "Oh, I love taking pictures on my 12.9 inch. That's rude." I'm like, whatever. It looks weird. Mike DOP gonna answer about 2 or 3 more, and then gonna call it a night, guys. It's been a long day. But actually, before I do answer these questions, guys, so just to give you guys a schedule of videos. So me and Vicente are planning a charging test on the new Series 7. Mike, be jealous. I hope you're jealous, Mike. But yeah, the new Series 7 is really dope. I got every model available, including Hermes models. I know. So it'll be nice to prove Apple's claims, because with the new 7, apparently now you can charge it to like 50% in like 30 minutes or so. So for the first time ever on the channel, we're gonna have a charging test. So that's coming up, and then we're gonna do an iPhone 13 versus iPhone 12 video. Then we're gonna move on to the iPhone 13 Pro content. Then some more Apple Watch content, and by that time the M1 Pros will arrive. We also have battery tests in there. We have iOS tips and tricks. Guys, there's a ton of stuff planned. So definitely, if you haven't already, follow me on my social medias. Gabby or Vicente, if you can plug my social medias in the chat. If you haven't already, that's the quickest way to find out, the latest giveaways, when videos are being produced, and a ton of behind the scenes content I'm going to start posting. So yeah, 2 or 3 more questions. Going to call it a night. I do appreciate everyone that came. Let's see, thoughts on chocolate milk. Mike DOP, I love chocolate milk. Gabby makes fun of me because I enjoy milk. And I like grabbing just a glass and drinking it. Yet she claims she's never seen me before in my life do that, even though I have. But I love chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is very, very good. Yeah, so Vicente, I was right. Yeah, the 3rd gen AirPods don't have transparency or noise cancellation, and that's what's going to differentiate the two apart. iPad Pro Max that has M1 Pro chip. Oh, Ashiland. Yeah, so thank you for that. Yeah, I do have it. I did make a review on the M1 iPad. It was also featured on the battery drain test that I uploaded, I believe, last week. But if you want a little more insight, again, on my social medias, go ahead and send me a DM or at me on Twitter. The quickest way is to at me on Twitter. Otherwise, I may start to take a little longer just with everything that I have to do throughout the day in terms of YouTube. Damn one. Vicente, I don't have big hands. Gabby, do I? I don't think I have big hands, but I have larger fingers, I think is the thing. My hand isn't necessarily large, but what I've always thought about myself is I ironically have a really small wrist. So yeah, pretty big hands, but smaller wrist. I use the small medium, and people on the internet, whenever I upload videos, they're like, I noticed you wear the small and medium. How big is your wrist? And whatever, so small wrist. Gabby is a big fan of my hands, definitely. 11 Kevin says, I was so surprised to see that they moved the volume buttons on the iPad mini. Yeah, they're over here, but you do know why they did it, right? So if you didn't know, 11 Kevin, you might already know though, but the reason is that beforehand the buttons were over here, right? They were on the right hand side of the device. That's where you can still find them on the iPad Pros and the iPad Airs and really every other iPad. But because this is only large enough to basically fit the Apple Pencil, I wish I had it nearby, but the Apple Pencil takes the majority of this space. Therefore, if the volume buttons were there, they would intrude. So that's why they had to move them over here. But I did hear a rumor that the iPad Pros, the next generation, might by default come in landscape mode. So in all their marketing, instead of, the software typically being like this, in portrait mode, they instead are going to start advertising it like this, and this is going to be the default setting to use the iPad Pro. So interesting. But yeah, look, this is so palmable, and it's just the edge to edge. Sure, you have some bezels in there, but just look at that. Look at the back. It's the perfect size. It's the perfect size. But guys, I think that's going to be it. I do love talking at 95 miles per hour. If you allow it, I will be here for hours, but I know that I also have to get some rest. Since tomorrow, I'm planning on releasing that charging test. If not by tomorrow, early Wednesday for sure. And then we have a ton of content planned for the rest of the week, including iPhone 12 versus iPhone 13, as well as just another, a whole ton of other content. I still have the MagSafe wallets that now include Find My to review, still have the leather wallets, still have the iPhone 13 Pro stuff to go over, and as well look at like the Starlight versus the Silver, so hands-on looks on the new Apple Watches. So guys, once again, I do want to say a huge thanks to all of you guys that were here, and an even bigger thank you to those who support the channel by throwing super chats at us. Me and Vicente, every time we come into a live stream, we never expect them, but whenever you guys do shower us and bless us with super chats, it makes us know that you guys our hard work and dedication that we throw into these videos. And even if it's 99 cents, or who knows, maybe we might receive our first $100 super chat one day, whatever the amount, it helps the channel out tremendously, and we do appreciate that. So thank you to everyone who threw super chats today. If you guys want more in-depth questions, maybe your questions weren't answered here, maybe you have even more, best way to get those questions answered is shoot me a DM on my social medias. Again, quickest way to reach me is to @me on Twitter. So guys, one last thank you to Ken, my good friend Ken, for supplying the beats. You can find his social medias in the description. Big shout out to Vicente as well for being the newest addition to the Juan&Only team. So he's going to be here helping me a ton. And maybe we might even do a collab video together where he is on camera. So guys, with that being said, I hope I answered all your questions. Hopefully this was a good recap of the entire event. I'm extremely excited to receive all my stuff. Oh, one last thing. I do have to show you guys something really funny that I just ordered. This is not a joke. Guys. Let me show you this. So Apple is selling a $20 polishing cloth. I don't know. This is one of those weird items that Apple releases, kind of like the Mac Pro wheels. I reviewed those, and it actually went semi-viral for a moment. So the Mac Pro wheels is just like a TF kind of product. Another one was like a book. Apple used to sell this book called Designed by Apple in California. Strange, in different sizes, so it was like a smaller book, but it was like one of those fancy, very expensive books. You know what I mean? Like they're made with like German paper or whatever it was. Yeah, very strange. And now this. So I did order it though. Might need it with all these MacBooks floating around. So guys, anyway, ton of content. I always love these live streams and answering you guys' questions. It's like you guys are literally right in front of me, and I appreciate you guys so much. It always puts a smile on my face. It's because of you guys that we're doing this, and hopefully you guys can see the passion in my voice. I love tech, and I just try to bring you guys the most informative content on the internet. So, guys, with that being said, clocking out for now, but I will be catching you guys very soon in my next video. Hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you to everyone who made it.